Hey, Tom, the receiver you took out of Virginia, Joe Reed, seems like a really versatile piece. What did you like about him? What do you feel like he's going to bring to this offense?
Well, you kind of hit on it right there. He can do a lot of different things, we think. I mean, he played wide receiver there, but they use him a lot just to get the ball in his hands, almost like a running back. So between some receiver, maybe a little bit of running back, certainly as a kickoff returner, who we really like him in that position with his size, 220, 225 pounds, but still runs very well and has a great feel for kickoff returning. So, and then kind of add in, covering punts, covering kicks. He can do a lot of things for us. So we'll get him in here and kind of see where he fits. But the thing that really stood out with him, how versatile he really is in some different areas.
How do you feel like he's going to complement Austin? Because it seems like they're both really versatile pieces that can kind of line up everywhere.
Well, those are good pieces to have for an offensive coordinator. And we did want to. His kickoff return ability is really, really good. It's one of the best ones that we saw this year in college. And even though the kickoff is de-emphasized now, you need to have a guy back there that people respect, because if you don't, they're going to sky kick it inside the 5, and then if you don't have a guy that can get it out of there, you're going to get pinned back a lot. So we like him in that category. We'll kind of see how he works from like a receiver / running back, but those are nice pieces to have for an offensive coordinator where you can move some players around.
Thanks.
Jason Hirschhorn, you're up.
Tom, Anthony mentioned at the start of the offseason that he and the coaching staff wanted to make some schematic changes to the offense that they couldn't make when Shane Steichen took over as OC in the middle of the season. Does the move from Phillip to Tyrod and now Justin Herbert, and obviously Easton Stick still there, does it reflect the changes that they're thinking of making? And how much of a focus was that for you during free agency and the draft process?
Well, whatever schemes you're running on offense and defense, you're always going to draft and sign players that fit to that. So, you're going to play to players' strengths. And, there'll probably be some tweaks and changes this year on offense, because it's going to be a different quarterback. So we're going to do some things that Tyrod does very well, and then maybe different things that Phillip did. So, the offense is going to change and evolve every year depending on who's under center, and not only who's under center, but everybody that's involved. And then we'll fit the pieces to that.
Anthony mentioned on the call we just had with him that there might be more pistol this year than there was in the past. Is that a change because, Tyrod is one of the players in position to start with Justin as well? Or is that something that he just wanted to do now because Phillip Rivers isn't going to be the starter?
You'd have to ask him. I'm not, my mind right now is on under center, pistol, and shotgun. I gotta tell you. So, I don't know. We'll see once we get on the field.
All right, Jeff Miller next up.
Tom, I think a lot of us anticipated that you would take an offensive lineman at some point, somebody who maybe could battle for that left tackle spot. Right now, I mean, is that a position you think? I mean, do you anticipate there's still some named tackles out there that you guys might sign a veteran, or where are you kind of at with the left tackle position now that the draft is over?
Well, first off, there was one in the draft that we liked at the spot we were, or somewhere near it. It certainly would have been a possibility, but your draft board is what your draft board is. We're not going to manufacture players either. So I don't know about name tackles. I don't know what that really means, but we have some people in house that we like Jason was just mentioning. The offense is going to change a little bit for how we do some things. I think it's going to fit a little bit better with some of the guys that we have, and we'll kind of see how it plays out. But I mean, the draft is what it is. I mean, I wish I had 20 draft picks and they're all in the top 3 rounds, but it's not how it works. So, it just kind of falls the way it falls.
All right, Joe Reedy, you're up.
Tom, with Kansas City kind of being the defending champs and everything, and their emphasis on speed, you kind of feel like the picks that you made today on offense, but also defense with Murray, for example, help close that gap a little bit in terms of speed?
We'll see. I mean, Kansas City's offense can fly, but it's it's more than just covering those fast guys. It's about getting the quarterback too. So, I mean, Murray's going to help. I mean, playing Kansas City and everybody because of his range and explosiveness and his speed. And the way teams or way offenses are nowadays, where everything is so spread out and they spread defenses out, you got to be able to run and chase. So, Murray, he fits that. He fits that category.
And now with getting Joshua Kelley in the 4th round, kind of seems like he fills a need with between the tackles and kind of excels in the yards after contact.
Yeah, our running back room, we only had 2 guys in there right now. So, and Josh has a different style than the 2 backs we have. The player that we liked a lot, and both at UCLA and at the Senior Bowl, just think he has really, really nice vision to see things, patient, but when he puts his foot in the ground, he can really explode through the hole. And he had a nice career at UCLA. He's got a really nice story and background as far as, where he came from to where he is now. And really like Justin Herbert did, Josh Kelley really stood out at the Senior Bowl. And that's, you watch him in the fall, and then you see him in an all-star game against the best seniors in the country. And it was nice to see him really step up there too. So that was part of our evaluation process. But he's a very well-rounded running back, and we're looking forward to seeing him kind of get in the mix.
Over to Popper again.
Did you guys have any conversations about moving into the 2nd or 3rd round? Did you get close to moving back in at any point?
We had conversations, but I wouldn't say anything was close.
And then did you guys inquire at all about Trent Williams? He got traded to the 49ers today.
No, we did not. Not today.
All right, Fernando Ramirez, you're up next.
Hey, Tom. What did you like about KJ Hill, and did you expect him to be there in the 7th round when you kind of were going through when your pick was coming up?
Every year in the draft, there's always so many receivers that it just seems like every year a couple guys kind of fall a little bit farther down than you would expect. But KJ had a great career at Ohio State. I mean, 4-year player, 4-year production, super smart and instinctive, just a great feel to get open, which a lot of inside receivers need to have. Excellent hands. He's done some punt returns too. So, it was nice that he was still there in the 7th round, that we could take a shot at that.
Katia, you're up.
Hi, Tom. Just in general, how satisfied are you with this draft? Anthony Lynn was just telling us how happy and excited he is. And where would you rank it in terms of your era with the Chargers?
Number 1 on the unique scale. No doubt about that. Really happy with the process. I mean, I don't know how this class is going to be until we get out on the field and see them play. So I have no idea yet. But just as far as it's a completely different procedure and process to how everything went, and the way everyone contributed and the teamwork that we had, even like our 7th round pick, my one Zoom account had frozen and went out. So we had to try and make some adjustments on the fly about 5 picks before we're going to take KJ Hill. So the amount of teamwork that went into that was incredible. It was really cool. So and it's everybody that's been involved in this draft. It's been great to see. And it's actually not even just football people. I mean, the last month leading up to this, I would say every department in our organization probably had a hand in this draft, just the way it was set up. So that was great. And now as far as the players that we took, we love them all today, and we expect them all to be players in this league. But until you actually see them on the field, see them in training camp, see them playing games, we'll know then.
Joe Reedy.
It seems like just watching on ESPN and seeing the different telecasts, you guys are on the road so much during the draft process that it, for lack of a better terms, it almost was like a family draft this year with the number of kids around coaches and GMs. Just how nice was it seeing that, and maybe your family kind of seeing what 3 days of the draft goes into?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had to get them in the rhythm a little bit, that the TV can't be on and going the whole time. And but they kind of figured it out. But it was like I said, just as an experience to have your kids and my wife here, and really everyone had a different job to do. It was just so unique. I mean, and usually they've never seen a draft run before from a draft room, obviously, and most people haven't. So they got a chance to see a little bit how it's run here, and everything that goes into it. Actually, my wife was amazed how quiet it was. A lot of it's just us sitting and watching and thinking, and just a lot of thinking, to be honest with you. And then the closer you get to your pick, the more quiet it gets. But Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you were to ask me even just a month ago if I thought we'd ever have a draft where we all did it from our house, I would have said there's no way we would ever do that. There's no way. They'll just push the draft back. But lo and behold, we did it like this, and you know, it was, you know, some aspects it was fun. I mean, you roll out of bed, you come downstairs, you get right back to work again. But a chance to experience this with the whole family, and like, yeah, I saw some of that too, of the families on the TV screens. Yeah, it was pretty, yeah, pretty cool.
Are there things that you feel like, you know, with it being a little more laid back and everything, that, you know, if there's a 2021 draft in Cleveland and Vegas in a couple years, that you can take from this year and apply to future years?
Well, at least I know we could do it like this. And we did it quickly. Like, we put this together in roughly a month with the infrastructure. So we know we could handle it like this. There's some things that we've done in the last month that I may even incorporate next year, even if it's a regular draft, just what we did meeting wise and what we did technology wise. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the way drafts have been run, it's been the same for probably 40, 50 years, if you think about it. Yeah, at least we know we can do this a couple different ways.
Popper, back over to you.
A lot of people had KJ Hill pegged as a, you know, 3rd round, 4th round talent. Were you surprised to see him still on the board in the 7th round, and did the value there factor into that pick?
You know, like I said before, the receiver position, just because there's so many of them, it just seems like every couple of years there's some guys that kind of fall a little bit farther down than you think. So I don't know. I mean, everyone's draft boards are different. Every media person's draft boards are different. So you never really know. But, you know, to get a really experienced receiver like that to come in and you know, have a chance to make this football team as a receiver / special teamer, I think we'll have a good opportunity for him.
And then with the safety you guys took out of Notre Dame, Alohi Gilman, were you focused on his special teams traits with that pick? You guys obviously have a number of defensive backs and a lot of guys who could potentially play that dime role or nickel role. Were you looking at his ability to have an impact on special teams there?
Yeah, you know, if you look at, you know, we've lost some of our core special teamers from last year, so that was you know, definitely part of it with Gilman. But we like him as a safety too. Really, you know, safety, some dime package. He's super smart, instinctive, tough, and he hits. So those are some traits that are good to have in the secondary. But we think between safety and some special teams, I think he's got a really good chance there.
And then just going back to the tackle situation, left tackle situation, obviously you took Trey in the 3rd round last year. That's a guy that you would expect to be a starter at some. But do you worry at all about him not being able to get on the practice field or not knowing when he's going to be able to get on a practice field? Do you worry about his development and where he's sort of going to be come the season?
I don't know if I worry about it, but I'm glad we have a lot of players in our football team that are internally motivated because they're going to do some development on their own right now. I guess that this may even out. He's not going to get as much work hands-on this spring as we would have liked, but he also got more snaps last year than we had anticipated. So maybe they'll even out in the end. But between Trey, Sam can play out there at left tackle, and you know, we'll have a lot more movement up front, some play action pass, and I think we'll be okay. If that's where we are, that's where we are. Yeah, this offseason is going to be very, very interesting to see how we develop our players and how we're going to do it when we actually get our hands on them. So, we'll see how it plays out.
Kurt Sandoval, you're up.
Hey, Tom, obviously what's not to like about what you guys did Friday in that 1st round, but when you look at the totality, and you know how we're always asking you best player available or address a need, how would you kind of frame these past 3 days and how you've added to your team?
Well, certainly when you get to the 3rd day, you know, you're really not feeling needs. You really are just trying to find the best football players you can that kind of fit you. No, I mean, there's always, you know, we had started with 7 draft picks, ended with 6. There are a lot more players we like that were on the board that you just can't get everybody you want. But I think in the end, at least on paper right now, I like how we came out. You know, we added some players that we have some specific roles in mind that we think they can do well. This team has changed over a lot from last year, and we kind of knew that going into the 2020 that this team was going to probably change a little bit. And you know, we lost some free agents, and we've got some draft picks coming in. We assigned some other free agents, and we got to put a new team together this year. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing the rookies actually on the field. That's, usually we have a rookie minicamp this coming weekend, which we won't right now. So it's we're gonna have to wait till we actually see him with the Charger helmet on.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, record-wise, you didn't have the season you had last year, but you're still very talented. Do you feel like you're a better team on paper than you were a year ago?
Well, I mean, the answer is yes on paper, but paper doesn't mean anything. So,
right.
You just got to wait to get them on the field. I mean, all we can do right now in the offseason is try and make our team better on paper because we're not allowed to go practice. We're not allowed to play against anybody yet. So, yeah, you do the best you can. You try and fill as many needs as you can. You try and develop the players that you have. And then you get on the field in August and you let it go. But I love our coaching staff. They teach really well. They motivate well, and they can communicate. So if we give them the right guys, the right players, the guys that can fill the right roles for them, I think that the sky's the limit. So that's the goal, to kind of give them the players they need that fit what they need, and then go. I don't know when that's going to be right now. Hopefully sooner than later. Get back out on the field.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Katya, you're up.
Tom, surrounding Justin with talent defensively and versatility, was that a focus or a main focus today?
Surrounding Justin Herbert?
Yes.
Oh, no, it really wasn't the focus. I mean, he's going to come in, play his position, and then we're going to build the rest of the team how we see fit. But, we didn't have like a specific focus for this third day because you just never know how the draft board is going to go. Once you get out of that fourth round, I mean, there's players coming from all over the draft board because everybody sees players a little bit differently. So, we went in with a kind of a short list of players that if they're there, these are guys that we'd really like. And if they weren't there, that we'll probably trade out. I didn't really want to trade up anywhere today because we only had 6 picks to finish with. So, but we were lucky when we were getting ready to pick. We had a nice small group of players that we felt really good about, and it ended up being a running back, 2 receivers, and a safety.